Now, let's take a look at Sir Knight Rudy Giuliani's part in this. Okay? Rudy Giuliani just happens to be wherever explosions are. Do you ever notice that? He's a shame, it's a shame to me to even consider him an Italian, because I don't think he is. And right after he shipped all that evidence out of the country after 9/11, the Queen Reptile in England gave him his knighthood. What does that tell you? Knighthood is a word for something else, and that's what I think Giuliani fits better. Most of you know it as a prophylactic. Now, why did Giuliani not only get rid of the evidence, toot sweet, but he also hired controlled demolitions to clean it up? Remember that these people use the same MO all the time. When I was a kid, I loved reading Mickey Spillane, so I learned all about MOs. Controlled demolition just happened to be the same cleanup firm that cleaned up after the Oklahoma City bombing. Coincidence? Is it a coincidence that Manchurian candidate Zacariah Moussaoui ended up in the same prison as Terry Nichols? I say it must be a prison for all the Manchurian candidates. Why the physical evidence of a crime, the steel, was immediately shipped to China, the next one world order country of choice, before forensics had a chance to inspect it. Okay, now, although Americans have been told to move on since the openly stolen election of 2000, this is what we're supposed to move on from. Move on from a stolen election of 2000, stolen election of 2004, which has been proved by Harv Wasserman and Bob Fitrakis. We're supposed to move on from the computer voting machines that flip your vote, as Clint Curtis has shown us, or we're supposed to move on from our votes not counting at all, move on from the Kennedy assassinations. Thanks to John Hankey and his excellent film, The Assassination of John F. Kennedy, Jr., which I recommend you see. Everybody talks about impeaching W. W doesn't even know whether he's dead or alive, okay? It's not about impeaching, okay? Impeaching isn't going to do anything except put Cheney visibly in power, okay? What needs to be done is clearly spelled out in the Declaration of Independence. When your government no longer serves the people have a right to create a new government. Well, if not us, who? And if not now, when? Okay, the corruption, the entire system needs one huge enema from the top to the bottom. So let's get that hose ready. Now, W came out and announced that we are all a Christian nation. God speaks to him and tells him what countries to bomb. Of course, his God, I think, goes by the name of Lucifer. And to me, I've always been taught that Christian is a verb and not a noun. Actions speak louder than words. That's what my mama used to say. And I say, what an insult to the American dream. Now, let's take a look at the fact that we have 5 Roman Catholics on the Supreme Court, 3 of which are members of the secret society known as Opus Dei. Whose agenda are they pushing? The Constitution? Soon they're going to tell us what position we can have sex in. So what master are they serving? And then what about the people in this administration and in Congress that have dual citizenship with Israel? Who are they serving? Obviously, they're all serving themselves, not us. Remember that this nation was founded by genocide, and a nation that was founded by genocide can indeed end by genocide. And what was the favorite tool of the white men when they attacked the beautiful Native Americans that they found here? Smallpox. And what was the first scary threat after 9/11? Smallpox first. They never changed their MO, okay? And of course the anthrax, and then now it's the bird flu, and they'll come up with a million other things. We have a lot more ugliness in our past as a country. Slavery, the forced consumption, forced consumption of gasoline to benefit the oil barons of old. And if you haven't read Chris Mulligan's book on fleshing out Skull and Bones, read it. There was a man that went to Yale when all these old, rich white men in the oil business were going, and his name was Mr. Diesel. Well, Mr. Diesel at the same time had invented the diesel engine. Mr. Diesel was found floating in the river. The whole thing with the oil, the systematic dismantling of trains in this country, forcing us and seducing us into cars, getting rid of public transportation, was all part of the same scheme by the oil barons to make us dependent on it.